best dressed man in wrestling right here. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. It ain't no doubt. It ain't no doubt. Flair, bring that old cashmere coat out here. Gee, I love.
Can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long.
Welcome back to Midday Sports for Rod and the Lunch Crew. You know, we do this every Monday. You know what I mean? And nothing changed. We do this every Monday to give y'all, our feedback on what, happened over the weekend and, all that jazz. You know what I mean? Which we had a really great Super Bowl weekend. It was a little bit yellow flags out there. You know what I mean? And which I didn't think was passing, pass interference, holding by the DB, but you know how that goes, Deets. You know how that goes. Every play could have been holding.
I saw worse. I didn't see it. Seeing it live and seeing the replay. I mean, until you really slow it down. But Drew, I've been up since 8. I've been up since 8 with Snowman in the morning. So, but I am not in the office right now because I'm actually redoing the studio because last night the Super Bowl, it was not that good, but we'll get to that. But the only thing about the Super Bowl, I won a chair. And I won $250 off the Super Bowl, so I can't complain.
Hold up, Deez. Before you get in the Super Bowl, I got, you know what I mean? I love punching it. I love punching the bear. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be me, Rod Uncensored, without punching no bears. And I got to say this. Snowman. I'm about to say this. Tom Brady is greater than all the 49ers QBs. Stop the cap. Stay off. Hold on. Go ahead, talk to him.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a?
So stop it, man. Stop it. But go ahead, Deets. I had to get that out of there.
The Super Bowl was everything about the Super Bowl was good, not great. I mean, for people watching the Super Bowl, was it an entertaining game? Sure, it was. But for did anything jump out? Did anything jump out from last night that you would go, "Oh my God, I got to see that play again"? No. There was none. There was none of that. And the one thing that we could have seen, we didn't get. We got robbed of. I wanted to see Jalen Hurts with a minute left in the game, having the ball and having the game in his hand. We got robbed of. Now, yes, and to comment to Drew, yes, Bradbury said he held him. I'll tell you, I've seen worse holding I've seen worse holding in that game that got let go. So, I'm not one of these people. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, the Eagles lost because the refs, the refs did anything. The refs made a call. The refs made a call. It happened. What I say is it robbed us of a chance to see. I would have loved to see Jalen Hurts in that with more than just one play left to go. Can he get his team down? Can he get his team down for a field goal? Do we get a long field goal try to win the game? Do we get all of this? But that's that it was just anticlimactic. Like once that call was made, you were like, all right, Kansas City won the game.
Hey, Deets, what would you give his performance? The letter grade, Jalen Hurts. What would you give it?
A minus.
That's fair. Like I'm cool with an A minus.
A minus. I mean, you have to fault him, and
that fumble. Yeah, I give it to that.
I saw Snowman. I saw Snowman in the morning. I saw playmakers, rebuke of the Philadelphia Eagles defense, and said when he said, "Oh, Jalen Hurts gave you 35 points." Yeah, Jalen Hurts also gave 7 points to the other team for no reason. It wasn't like Jalen Hurts got hit and he fumbled the ball, and no, Jalen Hurts just dropped the ball for no reason. Reasons I still can't explain. He dropped the ball. Kansas City scores, and yes, he did go down and retake the lead, but Philadelphia was driving at that point. Philadelphia goes up 3 scores at that point in the game. It's a totally different ball game than it is. All right, we're that close. So that's how this game was, but that's how this whole night was. That's how the entire Super Bowl was. And if you watched Fit Down Sports Show, if you watched our coverage, our pregame coverage of the Super Bowl, I'm not just talking about the game on the field. I'm talking about everything that is encompassed with the Super Bowl. The halftime show was good, not great. The commercials were good, not great. Mm-hmm. The play on the field was good, not great. There was no point in this Super Bowl did I look up and go, man, I'm glad I watched this. It was more of, all right, well, that's out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's what I say. That's what I say. It comes down to that call. If we had gotten a final drive of Jalen Hurts and we had seen the Chiefs defense step up, or we saw Jalen Hurts step into his own, that would have given us something to rally about in the Super Bowl. There's nothing to rally about here. There's nothing to complain about. There's not and as Drew keeps bringing up, I'm going back to this penalty. It wasn't that it was a penalty. It was that it just the whole thing deflated at that. It just deflated the entire experience, and it was kind of, as I said, it kind of encompassed the entire night. Good, not great.
But the only thing I gotta say about this is, man, what was they doing defensively, man? Why are you playing zone against Kansas City? Like that shit didn't make no sense to me. It was laughable how he got really out-coached Nick Sirianni.
Remember a week ago on this program, you asked me what would I do if I was Phillies, and I said, and what did I say? Blitz Mahomes all night long. They didn't blitz. I didn't see him blitz once.
No, I think they was bringing 2. Why are you bringing 2?
I mean, you got a guy who's hobbling. Basically, before the half, was crying on the bench. No, I don't mean crying, but I mean he was painful. He was in tears of pain on the bench. And this whole entire second half, you just sat back and let him just sit back there and do whatever he wanted to do.
This is the biggest game. This is the last hurrah. And you know what I mean? And I had a conversation on the group. You know what I mean? People, if you want to join the Uncensored Podcast group on Facebook, you're welcome. Come join. But I was saying this, like, I've never seen a defense disappear like this in a long time, Deets, in the Super Bowl. In a long time. You might have to go with that Denver Broncos Super Bowl. What Super Bowl was that when they got
with the Seahawks?
Yeah, with the Seahawks. It's probably been that long where you seen a defense just disappear. You know what I mean? Disappear.
What was great was you saw what makes Andy Reid a great coach. They went into halftime down by 10, doing things. And coming into that, going right into the half, they were, I don't know if it was a 3-and-out, but it was, pretty much a nonchalant drive where they couldn't move the ball.
Mhm.
And their quarterback had just gotten absolutely destroyed. What do they do in this? What do they do when they come out of that? They started running jet sweeps. They started running that jet trap. And that jet trap, they ran it, I think, almost 3 plays in a row where they ran variations of it, where they ran the jet trap over the guard. Then they ran the same play, but they ran it out wide. Then they ran the same play coming back the other way, right over the guard. And you saw, all right, they went into half and clearly went, hey, they're getting up the field. We need to take the tackles out and we can run right behind them. And they noticed the linebackers are dropping, so they're not in the run defense. That's why they started running the football. That's how they open the holes, is they're dropping out so we can just run right where they're supposed to be.
And if I'm Tooney, I'm sending that GM for the Giants. I'm sending him a Christmas gift. You helped me get a ring. Like, you helped me out trading me. Because I think next year he's gonna have a bigger year with him. Because he's really a versatile receiver.
Yeah, he showed why he was a first round pick. He showed what happens when he's on the field and involved in the offense. And that goes to Andy Reid, it goes to Eric Bieniemy, it goes to those guys. They looked at what was going on in the first half and they completely changed their game plan in the second half. Now the Eagles, I would love for an Eagles fan to tell me what they changed, because it looked to me like they didn't change up a single thing. They didn't react to anything Kansas City was doing, and they just kind of said, we're going to play our game. We're going to keep playing this game. And even though they kept getting burnt by it, they just kept doing it.
I'm giving the Eagles coaching like a D, maybe a hard E. You know what I mean? Because anybody that plays special teams, that was the weakest coverage I ever seen in my life. And I'm a former special team player. You know what I mean? Kickoff, punt coverage. You know what I mean? That was just terrible, Deets. The coverage.
Yeah.
You let them get down to almost the 50, the 5 yard line. Like, you gotta get them blockers off of you. You know what I mean? It's not hard, Deets.
Yeah,
that's simple coverage.
Like I said, the Eagles really didn't do anything. I mean, they pretty much said Jalen Hurts go out.
Sports. It's Cole's on here. What's up, Cole?
Eagles thought the second quarter was good. I like the thought of that, but the idea of, and to everybody, like, they did not. What did we say? Oh, like, we said it last week. They need to run the Eagles need to establish the run. And they did not do that at all.
Yeah, man. I just like I don't know how many tackles Hassan Reddick got. Where was Sue? It was not really bringing, the depth out there for the you got it, like you said, weeks prior. Only thing you had to take the game plan that Tampa put out which is bringing 4 to Patrick Mahomes in that offensive line. Blitz every play.
Yeah.
Blitz every play. Make Travis Kelce beat you. Make them receivers make them difficult throws behind them. You know what I mean? You never know if a pass behind you might be able to deflect and get an interception. You never know. But you got to rush him. All the great QBs, you got to rush. You got to rush. You can't reinvent the wheel. You can't play zone against these
Cole,
guys.
I totally agree. And I remember listening to Playmaker this morning saying, the Chiefs shut down that 3-headed monster. The Chiefs didn't shut down anything. The Eagles never tried it. They never ran every time they ran the football, it looked like they were running wild. Gainwell ran for a touchdown. Hurts ran in a couple touchdowns.
3.
Every time they ran the football, it seemed like they were hitting pay dirt. But it was weird because the Eagles kind of got in that mode of
They got too cute.
They got in the mode of let's get the chunk plays. We're not satisfied with the 3.5 yard gain because to tell them this 3.5 yards, you get that 3 times, you get a first down, and you get to keep the drive going.
You heard me. Sanders didn't even have presence. You're right.
I don't think he wasn't allowed to have a presence. He wasn't even given a chance. He wasn't handed the ball at all, like ever. And a lot of that was every time they tried to run the ball with Miles Sanders, they ran that stupid read option, which the Chiefs basically said, you know what? Ends crash on the run, make him pull it, and we'll try to string it wide.
Sanders,
that was the theory on the defense. So you know that's happening. So why do you continue to go to that read option? Stop it. To stop that, what you do is you run. You have no option. You just run the ball straight, and you block the end, so the end doesn't know. Am I rushing upfield? Or am I going after the running back? That's how you stop that kind of play. But the Eagles never adjust. This was a game of adjustments, and the Eagles never adjusted.
I don't think they should have used Sanders on the outside. They should have had like a draw outside, or a counter outside to get him the edges. Once he's on the edge, he's gone. Sanders is gone. He's not a tackle type of running back where he goes through the tackles. You know what I mean? That's not his game.
That's the thing moving forward with this Eagles team is they have 3 running backs, but all 3 running backs are pretty much the same player. I would like to see them move one of those running backs and get not necessarily a bell cow guy, but your Patriots guy to get a
LeGarrette Blount,
LeGarrette Blount type guy who when he's in, he ain't getting the pitch on the side. He's gonna slam it right down your throat.
Didn't he a Kenneth Walker type too?
And he's gonna take guys for 2 to 3 yards, and it's gonna take 2 or 3 guys to tackle him. That's what I would like to see for the Eagles to improve. That's what needs to happen because
I like for them
3-headed monster. It ain't gonna fly with these 3 because they're all the same guy.
I like that boy from Texas. He fit real great with them. What's his name? The guy from Texas.
Bijan Robinson.
He'd be perfect for him. He'd be perfect for him.
Be perfect. He'd be perfect for a lot of teams, but he's the kind of guy I'd be thinking of.
Definitely, yeah. They definitely need a bruiser. But I'm telling you this right now, man. To say this, man, the year he had, I feel like they should pay him a long-term contract.
Who?
Hurts.
They will, but there's no need to do that right now.
I'm just saying.
If you're the Eagles, you
don't make him wait like Lamar. I'm saying when he gets closer to that, I think it's 2024, his contract is up. Pay him his money, man, because I don't think you can get better than this. Like the presence he had in the Super Bowl, minus that little fumble, he wasn't scared the moment like Donovan McNabb. You understand what I mean, Deets? Donovan McNabb was scared in that Super Bowl.
The difference is they didn't win the game. You don't pay Jalen Hurts right now because what you do is bring guys in to help you win that final game. You need to bring guys in, and the only way you can bring people in is if you have room under the salary cap.
Yeah.
And right now, Jalen Hurts' salary cap number is extremely low.
Yeah.
So if you restructure his contract, right now, you're going to eat up your cap. You're going to eat up your salary cap and not be able to make the moves that you need to make. It's the same thing that happened with the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks, with Russell Wilson, the Seahawks kept his number low. They were able to bring in a whole bunch of guys. They were able to keep that group together while Russell Wilson's contract was small. Once his contract blew up, you notice what happened to the Seahawks. The entire team blew up. Tom chirping. Sherman got shipped out. You start losing pieces when you have to do that. So right now, while he's low, yeah, you bring in A.J. Brown. You bring in all the guys that you can because you're not paying your quarterback the top money. When Jalen Hurts, and this is for Jalen Hurts, I understand people would probably say, oh, Jalen Hurts wants to get a contract now, get that long-term contract in. For Jalen Hurts, it's almost better to wait until your contract runs out because look what's happening to quarterback contracts.
Yeah.
They just go up and up and up. And by the time Hurts is going, he's going to be able to say, hey, I led you to a Super Bowl. If he goes back to another one, I led y'all to 2 Super Bowls. I deserve top 3 money. And you're going to and so he's going to make all of that back. And whereas if they signed him now, he's not going to get top 3 money. He's probably going to get top 10 money, maybe top 12. And so
but this is what I'm saying. I think
the Eagles need to go to him and be like, look, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry about it. But we need to manage our cap. We need to manage this out. We need to take advantage of this now. And when it's your time, we will take care of you. The same way the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. They did the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. They said, when your time is up, we will take care of you. And they did. And look what's going on there.
I don't think he's going to ask for no crazy money. I feel like he's a humble guy, right? Where I think he's more about the team, not like other QBs that are out right now. I think he really wants to win. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts. That's why I felt just watching the interviews, I feel like he's almost going to take a back end of like Tom Brady approach. You know what I mean? Make sure the team around him is great. But he wants his, you know what I mean? Tom didn't take no big deals with the Pats.
You know what you do for that? You take when you're Jalen Hurts, he's gonna be hearing this from all sides. He's gonna be getting this from all sides. He's gonna be hearing it from guys saying, take the small deal, take the smaller deal, and we can bring other guys in and we can win for years on end. And then he's gonna be hearing it from the NFLPA guys who are gonna be saying, hey, you can't take a hit on that contract because it's going to screw up everybody else's contract. What Jalen needs to do is go out, get the best contract he can get. And then if he wants to do that, do what Tom Brady did. Remember what Tom Brady did his first contract. He signed that big deal. And then every year he just slowly decreased it. He slowly said, I'm going to rework my contract. And he reworked it down to a lower level so that they could go sign people. Then he would lower his contract again. That's what Jalen Hurts needs to do. If I were advising him, I would say, you go out, sign the biggest contract, and then reduce it the next season after. Because that way you settle with everybody. You settle, the NFLPA gets to look at it and say, look, this guy got this contract, and they get to use that. And you get to say, hey, look, I'm a team guy, I'll take a pay cut, and we'll go out and sign other guys. So you look good on both ends. That's the approach. That's the way you need to do it.
But these what few pieces you see they need is a glaring need for the Eagles, which if you were the GM, you would fix.
I just said it. What? I just said it. You need a power running back.
You need a power running back. What else?
Power running back. Miles Sanders can get you the finesse yards. You need a guy who can pound the rock. And Gainwell's he's not that guy. Boston Scott's not that guy. That's otherwise you're set on every other position. As far as the offense goes, the offensive line, you can always use depth on the offensive line. You never know what's going to happen with an offensive line. Guy goes down, all of a sudden you got to reshuffle. So depth on the offensive line and a not a bell cow running back, a pounder running back, a guy who is going to just pound the rock for you. That's what I would be looking for on offense. On defense, they need linebackers, and we kind of saw it. I mean, they need corner. They need a stud corner. And people will say Darius Slay is that guy. I don't think Darius Slay is that. Darius Slay is a guy you can put him on the right side and say, hey, play on the right side. But you need a guy who can follow the number one all over the field.
I think he's up there in age too, Deets. Yes, he's on his last couple of days, man. He's up in his 30s. To still be playing corner, you know what I mean? Your late 30s, that's amazing. But you need to get some younger bodies in that secondary.
That's where I think their biggest looks are gonna be is secondary and running back. I
think they should go try to get a bigger safety. I like Maddox, but he's not. You need a guy like 6'2", 6'3". You know what I mean? I know it's hard to find a bigger, you know what I mean, a bigger strong safety, but you need that. You really do need that to be successful against these bigger tight ends. You can't have a honey badger on Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? He can easily, you know what I mean, get that 50-50 ball. He's taking that. You know what I mean? So you need a bigger, strong safety. And I like to see Maddox at free, to be honest with you. He's a real smart player, but I think that's the major key. But this is another thing I'm seeing a lot on these groups, these social media groups. Stop it with putting Patrick Mahomes in the top 5 category for all-time QBs.
No.
Stop, please. Stop this.
It's the symptom of the times, Rod. It's a symptom of the times. Everybody wants to be the first. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, remember when I said Pat Mahomes was top 5? I said it back in 2023. I said it back then." Like, shut up. Shut up. It's way, way too early to judge anything on Patrick Mahomes.
A lot of people don't understand this is a separate table, right? It's the big table where all the greats at with the multiple rings. There's also a table with Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, the single ring people. That's where they sit at. They're not at the table with Tom Brady and Terry Bradshaw's and them.
Well, Ben's got 2. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a separate table.
Yeah,
it's a separate wing. He's not up there with Tom Brady and at that table where the big boys stay at. We gotta stop. We gotta stop this, man. We gotta stop throwing people in top 5.
People, and I said it on the show this morning when this was brought up. I mean, people act like John Elway didn't play football. Like, no, I've seen posts where it's Brady, Montana, and Mahomes, and I'm like, no, John Elway's still there. Peyton Manning still played football, and a lot of people don't talk. You know, again, we go back to if you're going to make these kinds of lists, be a football historian and go back and read up on what Otto Graham did.
If somebody want to put him on top 10, okay, but not top 5. You cannot put him top 5.
He's not in the top. He's not in the top 10. He's not in the top 10 yet of all time. I mean, Johnny Unitas is still on it. Johnny Unitas is still up there. Football historians need to be there.
That's like putting Ja Morant.
Number 5. I mean, Mahomes has done great things, but the thing about Mahomes is he's going to. If you're putting him at 10, he's going to do better. He's going to do better things as his career goes on.
Yeah.
So he's not done yet. So to put him at 10 already is basically saying, oh well, he's done more than all these other guys, and no, he hasn't.
2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowls MVPs. Not at least number 10.
No.
God damn.
No, he's not. He's not at top 10. He's not at top 10 yet. He's on his way up, but he's not there yet. I mean, off the top of my head, I've already got 8 that are ahead of him, and he's not getting ahead of those 8, and it's impossible to think of anything else. I mean, you got Brady, Montana, Manning, Elway. I've got again, look up Otto Graham's career and tell me that's not one of the top 5 all-time careers. Guy played in a championship game every single season he played. Enough said. So I've got Otto Graham in there. I've got Johnny Unitas reinvented. He basically invented the quarterback position the way it's played right now. So Johnny U's got to be on that. Johnny U's got to be on that list. And these are just off the top of my head type things.
You don't got Roger the Dodger in your list?
Not NFL. Not NFL. Not NFL. Roger's one of those guys who's on the outside of the top. He's right on the top 10. I mean, you can't fault Captain America. I mean, if you throw his college career in, then it becomes a different story. But as far as the NFL, as far as just his pro career, I can't put him up there yet.
Okay.
And again, Drew, you're right. Nobody's done what he's done in their first 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in his first 5 years. Like when he's in his 10th, 12th season, then I will start to see where I slate him. But he's moving up the list, but he'll get there. He's got time to get there. We don't have to rush to crown. We don't have to rush to put the crown on him. There's plenty of time for that. The time will come. The time will come for Pat Mahomes. He's doing great things now, and we'll see. We'll see where he goes. But to take him where he is right now, I mean,
I got Kelsey. I got Kelsey as number 4 on my list though, all-time tight ends. I got him number 4.
oh,
I got him number 4.
tight ends is a different. Tight ends.
I got him number 4. I got him number
tight
4.
ends is a totally different. Is a totally different story because we don't have, we don't have that many. We don't have that many tight ends on that list of that echelon. I mean, you have Antonio Gates, Shannon Sharp, Jason Witten, Travis Kelce. I'm trying to think of other tight ends. Kellen Winslow Sr.
What about my boy, D? You didn't say my boy.
Gronk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Gronk. I mean, Gronk is such a hard one to. Because Gronk was so great, but so riddled by injury. Where Gronk was great, and he was a great Super Bowl player because he was great for a game. For an entire season,
He did. He led the league a couple times in 12 TDs.
for an entire season, Gronk.
He led the league in touchdowns a couple times.
This is my trouble with Gronk. Gronk would have games where he would go ball all out and then fade away the next game, ball all out the next game, and then fade away or not play because of injury. There were so many of those where Gronk is really a hard guy to slot because you look at him, there are certain games where you would say Gronk is the best tight end of all time. And then you look at the entirety of his career and you're like, wait, why didn't he just do this all the time? So it was that's why Gronk is always going to be a hard one to put in there. He's a hard guy because you can make the case. You can make the case that you can make the case anywhere between 1 and 5 for Gronk and be right about anywhere you slot him. Anywhere you slot him, you can be right and get away with it. And that's what's troubling about Rob Gronkowski. And by the way, what the hell was that commercial last night?
I don't know, Deets.
They said he missed he definitely made the field goal. It definitely went there. It definitely went through the uprights, and they like blew it to the side, but it definitely went through the uprights. And then they said he missed it, and I was like, I didn't. Maybe they're not seeing the same thing I'm seeing because it looked like he made it.
But Deets, yes.
What the hell? I thought it was going to be a live kick, like let him kick it, but no, it was definitely produced, and that was the biggest letdown and just horrible.
Let's move along and let's talk about the Hall of Fame, the class that's going in. I'm gonna name a couple of names, and I want your thoughts about it. I'm out. I'm protesting. Are they a lock or not a lock?
When Rondé Barber gets in the Hall of Fame and Albert Lewis doesn't, this is a joke. This is an absolute joke. Albert Lewis should be in the Hall of Fame, and that's anybody who watched football in the 80s knows Albert Lewis was the best corner of that decade. And how he's not in the Hall of Fame and Rondé Barber is an absolute shame.
You know they're going to talk about the longevity, how many years he played. Probably was the main thing, and he's a part of that legendary defense, the Tampa 2.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine if you want to put Rondé Barber in. If you want to put Rondé Barber in, then you put Albert Lewis in because they're on the same ballot. Yeah. And there's no doubt in my mind that Albert Lewis was a better player than Rondé Barber, and it's not even close.
I mean, that could be your opinion. I didn't watch enough Albert Lewis because I was probably what was his last year?
His last year, I want to say 94.
Yeah, I was a pissant. You know, I was born in 92, so I didn't get a chance to see him. So I can't relate.
This is a guy who was he was on the All-Pro team for 10 years straight.
10 years straight.
Yeah.
Damn.
This guy was Deion Sanders before Deion Sanders as far as guys just didn't even throw at him. Like guys looked at that side of the field and went, no, we'll just go the other way. And that's the thing that really hurts him is that nobody threw at him, so he doesn't really have the numbers. But when you look at all the years of people watching and putting him on the All-Pro, he was on the All-Pro team every year. And I can't get over that. When I saw that, and I was like, the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl. Put Albert Lewis in, he gets to go out for the coin toss. It's good TV. What are you doing, NFL?
But let's move on. Darrelle Revis gets in. Must deserve. He got low interception numbers, so you already know everybody was scared to throw at him. And he he defended some of the greatest receivers of all time. You know what I mean? He can easily say that and shut them down. You know what I mean? He was a whole island.
Revis, there's no objection to Revis getting in. And Revis is on the same level. Revis is on the same level with Albert Lewis. I mean, Albert Lewis was Darrelle Revis. Like that's what they did. Nobody threw at him. Darrelle Revis did the same thing, but he was just more, again, it's fresh in people's minds. They're like, oh, Darrelle Revis, yeah. Revis Island and all of that stuff. So
and another one, man, I was happy about seeing, even though, I don't like the Browns, but Joe Thomas, he was a hell of a player, great tackle. He probably could easily put him, top 10 tackles of all time?
Joe Thomas, well deserving to be in for all the years he had to spend in Cleveland and in that garbage of a franchise. No, again, all the guys are well deserving. It's just I don't understand. I don't understand what they were thinking.
Especially another one, Zach Thomas. I remember watching him. Hurt my New England Patriots. He was a hell of a linebacker, hell of a middle linebacker. I think sometimes he got robbed out of defensive MVPs. I think easily you led the league in tackles a couple times. He was definitely a problem.
All I'm going to say about Zach Thomas is if they do his when they do his bust,
That's why I said
When they
offensive
do
lineman.
Yeah, we talked about Joe Thomas. We're talking about Zach now. We're
Yeah.
talking about the linebacker with Miami.
Zach Thomas. Yeah, Zach Thomas. My fault.
Zach Thomas's bust should have the neck roll on it.
Yeah.
That needs to happen, because that's what I know Zach Thomas for. That neck roll is epic.
Yeah, that was legendary. And another boy, your boy DeMarcus Ware, man. I think he's one of the best ever to do it.
DeMarcus Ware, no qualms there, and he went to Denver, got his Super Bowl, so good for him. Drew, we were talking about Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas. We talked about two Thomases in a row, which I know threw people off. So, and maybe there was a misspeak in there, but I knew what you were talking about.
But yeah, so good Hall of Fame class. Minus your boy Lewis.
Again, it fits with the motif of the night. Good, not good.
I don't know.
It could have been great, but no. Instead they go.
Okay, Drew. All right, Drew. Okay, Drew. I apologize, Drew. Now he's trying to troll the troller. But
hey, it happens when you do. Drew, you know this. When you do this enough, you misspeak. It happens.
But let's go on to some NBA talk, man. You watch any games over the weekend, man?
I didn't watch any NBA over the weekend. I didn't watch any sport. I really just stuck to the Super Bowl.
What's your thoughts about some of the trade
deadlines? I did look at the trades, and Jesus wept. Trades in the NBA was just basically everybody just selling themselves down the river, and I don't understand it at all. I don't understand Minnesota. I guess Minnesota's getting Mike Conley, but I mean, is Mike Conley really that much that you blew up your team? You're in the top 4. Why are you blowing up your team?
I didn't understand that for the Nets. Like, you just helped Kevin Durant possibly get to the NBA Finals by making this move. Like, you should have kept him. Like, you're number 4. I think they're number 4 in the division.
Yeah, they're number 4 in the East, and they just decided, you know what? Nah, we're good.
That doesn't make sense to me.
We're good. They're gonna sink like a stone.
You should at least ask for Chris Paul. I would ask for something back in return. Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. What's his name? Mikal something.
I don't know what
his name.
I don't know
the wing defender, the 3-and-D guy.
Yeah,
but anyway,
I don't know what the Nets are thinking. But now that the Super Bowl's out of the way, now I'll start paying attention to more NBA stuff. But this weekend was all about the Super Bowl, and I just wanted to keep all my focus on the Super Bowl. So we're doing that. We're doing that for the weekend.
But yeah, man, I watched a couple games. I watched, I'm happy with the Lakers did, man, with the moves. I'm pretty excited with that. They got rid of Russell Westbrook. I wish him well, you know what I mean? But I just didn't understand why they even trade for him in the beginning. So I'm glad they got rid of that contract. And
how about the JV game this weekend where you had the Warriors and Lakers and no Steph, no LeBron, no anybody playing in that game. It was like watching the junior varsity teams, and you're like, okay, good, great.
Yeah,
glad I tuned into this game.
I like with Vanderbilt. I like his game. You know what he kind of remind me of? He remind me of Lamar Odom a little bit. I mean, quickness wise. You know,
don't let the Kardashians hear that.
But he kind of remind me of like a young Lamar Odom. You know what I mean? This energy, you know what I mean? The versatility. I like that move right there. Beasley could have hit a barn. He could have hit a rock on a barn on Saturday. D'Lo. I think D'Lo fits them a little bit better than Westbrook. I guess anybody could fit better than Westbrook, but I like them. I even like Mo Bamba. That Mo Bamba, you get length. I like that length.
That's the big get for the Lakers is Mo Bamba, because now Anthony Davis doesn't have to be the rim protector because Mo Bamba can do that.
And I'm starting to realize he's more like, Timmy had the body to be a center, Tim Duncan, but he was not a center. You know what I mean? He didn't have that ring projection, to really get dirty with like a Shaq or in his case, Jokic or all them big body centers the league got. I don't think that's Anthony Davis. I like him at the 4. So Mo Bamba can play that 5, and Mo Bamba can shoot a little bit, but he's definitely a great rim protector. So I think that makes sense for the team. So you know what I mean?
Where the Lakers are, but right now the problem is the hole they've dug is so big.
There's only 4 games, Deeks.
To what? To make the playoffs?
Yeah, to make the playoffs. They're 4 games out.
Again, the Lakers are not, and I know this because I talked to my buddy Eric, who is a Lakers fan. They don't care about the play. They don't care about the playoffs. They don't care. If they make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round, every Laker fan is going to go, "Well, this season sucked." If they make the Western Conference Finals and get bounced, they'll go, "Oh, this season sucked." That's Lakers basketball. The Lakers are like the Yankees, where it's championship or bust. And that's when I say they've dug themselves such a huge hole that it's going to be very impossible for them to dig their way out of this.
But that's the same way with the Suns. This will make a championship or bust for the Suns.
No,
for the Mavericks.
I mean, now it is now that they got Kevin Durant. I mean that's we're making a play for the championship now. But Suns, I guarantee you, Suns fan, they're okay with making a Western Conference. Like Suns fan is okay with making a Western Conference final.
Do you see
Lakers fan is not. Lakers fan is like, nah, we made the finals. Who cares? If we didn't make the NBA finals, we don't care.
Do you see the Boston Celtics releasing Ume Udoka in the offseason?
In the offseason, yeah.
In the offseason.
Oh, yeah.
I think that coach is doing a great job.
He's coached his last game in Boston. And if they could do it now, they would. If they could release him now, they would. But when they were thinking about doing that earlier in the year, I guarantee you, I don't have any insiders on this, but I guarantee you Adam Silver gave a call and said, do not release him. He's suspended, and we don't want to see him on the sidelines this year. Because if the Celtics could have, they would have released him then.
Yeah, man. I definitely could see him in a couple places. He'd be a great coach for. It's a couple teams.
He's going to the Nets. Ime Udoka's going to be coach of the Nets next year. There's no question. There's no question about that.
What is the ceilings for your Boston Celtics? The finals, you think?
The Celtics. I think they're fine. I mean, what else can you say about it? They're now the number one. They're the number 1 seed. And if they don't make the final, I mean, they made the finals last year, so if they don't make the finals this year, it's a letdown. It's definitely a letdown.
What team would you like to see them pair? I know this is too far ahead.
What team would I like to see them play against, or what team? What's your
ideal matchup?
As a Celtics fan, I want them to play the easiest team possible, run through them, and win a championship. But as a fan, as somebody who wants to watch a good series, I want to see Denver. I want to see Denver. I want to see Jokic in there. I want to see Jokic in an NBA Finals. I actually would love to, any of those Western Conference teams. I would love to see the Suns get in there. And have the Celtics go up against that 3-headed monster. and see what they could get at. But the Suns would be the team that scares me because we all know what KD can do when KD wants to. We know what he can do, and we know what he can do in the finals.
A bucket. But before we get out of here, I'm going to touch this controversial statement by Gino at UConn saying about Don Stanley players. Did you see that?
I saw Don Staley's reaction. I didn't see what Gino said though.
Yeah, pretty much Gino was saying, he thinks South Carolina players are thugs and they break the rules and they don't get the proper calls and they're breaking the rules by the rough play. What's your thoughts about that? That's pretty much what I got from him. He called the girls thugs. Was he out of line for that? Calling some women thugs?
Well, I mean, this is the problem when you have Gino Auriemma coaching women's basketball. I mean, if Gino Auriemma says this about men's in the men's game, and he says this about other men's college basketball, everybody would just take it as, oh, he's just coaching his team or whatever. Mm-hmm. But because Gino Auriemma is a man and he says this about women, it's going to get blown way out of proportion. And if, to put it in, I know you're a Tennessee guy, if Pat Summitt said this about other women, it would be taken as, oh, Pat Summitt is talking about women's basketball because she's a woman. Because Gino's a man and he's saying this about women, but this is what Gino does. Gino talks about this Gino talks about his sport all the time. But because it's not looked at as, oh, Gino Auriemma, women's basketball coach, it's looked at Gino Auriemma, man, talking about women. And then Dawn Staley, I mean, for everything, Dawn Staley's great and good for her, but you could have fanned these flames early, and instead she pretty much threw gas on the fire by keeping this going. If you had just said, well, Gino, coach your team and shut up, this would be a non-story. But Dawn Staley has made it, how can he say this about women? How can he say this about other things? So, Dawn, just take it as, I'm gonna coach my team, you coach your team, and we'll see you. We'll see you in the finals. I mean,
I think everybody is calls to play. Comes to play when you're losing, and she's the hot hand. She got the hot hand. She got the whole book. If it's spades, then she got the whole book, man. Let's be real about it. Everybody wants to go to South Carolina State. You know what I mean? Every female want to go there because she got the hot hand. Like, to lose, recruit better. If you want to stop and recruit better, coach better. That's how you win.
Yeah, I mean, and it's women's college basketball. I mean, it's gonna. I can tell you right now, it's gonna be South Carolina and UConn in the finals. I'll tell you that right now. We don't even have to play the rest of the season. Just play that game. Do it a 7-game series. You don't even need March Madness. Just let them play 7 games because that's what it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
But no, if we're planning on getting out of it, we need to go back to the Super Bowl, and we need to address the biggest issue of the Super Bowl, which we didn't even talk about.
What was it?
And that was, I got to get your thoughts. What were your thoughts on the halftime show?
All right, I didn't care for it.
All right, that's what I'm getting from everybody. And you know what? I'm tired of hearing this excuse of, well, Rihanna was pregnant. You knew she was pregnant when she went out there. And look, Rihanna, this is my thing on it. Rihanna sounded great. I don't know, for the songs that I heard.
I don't know about great. I don't know about great. I heard better voices.
She sounded like Rihanna. However, the dancers that were with her were awful. the everything that was going on behind her, she didn't move at all, and I understand. Hey, she's pregnant. Like
She got bad suits like Breaking Bad on. Like they
she's
make crystal
pregnant.
meth.
Do your thing, but you know that she's pregnant, so you do. So as a choreographer, you make the dance behind her epic and amazing because it's a show. It's a halftime show. It's supposed to be something entertaining. I watched that thing, and I'll tell you right now, the only entertaining part of it was the fireworks at the end.
You're probably right, Drew. She probably was lip syncing.
You know what, Drew? She could have been, and I wouldn't have known because I don't know anything about Rihanna. So, when I listened to her, I was like, all right, this sounds pretty good, but nothing else is going on. And I'm like, this isn't a show. This is just her standing there singing. Like,
but she clicked. But let me tell you this: you clicked because he definitely wore black. Chris Stapleton definitely wore black, so he definitely clicked.
Chris Stapleton nailed the national anthem. It was awesome. He was good.
Before we get out of here, I got a couple little rapid fires. What is the worst comic book movie in your opinion?
What is the worst?
The worst.
The worst comic book movie is Batman and Robin.
Yeah, you talking about the one with George Clooney?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
When you put nipples on the bat suit, that's the end. That's the end all be all right there.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad, man. That was pretty bad. You know what movie I want them to relaunch though, man? The Rocketeer. Remember the Rocketeer movie?
Rocketeer, great movie, great setting. Takes place in the 1950s. It's a good comic too. The Rocketeer, but yeah, I mean,
also one for me is Superman Returns. I think that was a terrible movie.
Superman. When you understand the history surrounding Superman Returns,
I'm just talking about this.
It was as good as it was good as it. I mean, it's not Superman Lives, which, by the way, which was supposed to be Superman Returns, but they never made it. And by the way, it was supposed to star Nicolas Cage, which would have been fantastic.
What
would have been fantastically bad. And when I say fantastic, it would have been laughably bad with Nicolas Cage as Superman. Also, I would have just loved to see it just to laugh at it, but luckily they shelved that one. But yeah, no, Superman Returns. It was so bad that it ushered in Man of Steel, and then you get. And speaking of, I mean, we got the trailer for Flashpoint, which I found it funny because they shortened the trailer for the Super Bowl commercial. It ended at Michael Keaton, and I was like, wait, there's like 3 minutes more of this trailer, and they just shut it off because they know that's all anybody wants to see, and that's gonna be a disaster when it comes out.
You know, I mean, also that early 90 Captain America movie was terrible too.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty.
And again, that wasn't even supposed to be made. That was just a rights retainer.
That shit was terrible.
There's a lot there. You know, the 90s, there was a lot of bad. A lot of bad in the 90s. The 90s was very bad because they saw superheroes as, this isn't a moneymaker. We're not putting any time and effort into it. And then Iron Man came out and people went, whoa, wait a minute. We can make money off this stuff. Let's start doing it. And that's when everything kicked into high gear. But
another one is that Green Lantern movie. You cannot. Green Lantern was so
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, Green Lantern was so serious. You can't. You know what I mean? You remember watching the cartoons or reading the comic books? He was so serious all the time. You know what I mean? Him and the Silver Surfer. Serious.
According to Deadpool 2, Green Lantern never happened. So It got X'd out. It got X'd out of existence. It didn't have. No, when you take Brainiac and you make him into anytime you take a awesome villain and turn them into a blob, that's never going to work. A Fantastic Four turned Galactus into a cloud, didn't work. Green Lantern turned Brainiac into a blob, didn't work. You take classic villains and you make them take away their bodies, everybody's going to tune out, and that's basically what happened.
Yeah. But all right,
there's a lot of good comic book. I mean, we saw a lot of things come up in the Super Bowl. We saw the ads. We saw the ad for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out, which is, I don't know. I'm on the fence about, because I think it's going to be sad. I think it's going to be a sad movie. I think a lot of people are going to walk away from that movie very, very disturbed by what happens in that movie. Just knowing what I know, we know Drax is done because Dave Bautista said he doesn't want to play the character anymore. So I would imagine Drax is going to either leave us somehow or just walk away. But my fear is Rocket. I think Rocket is going to kick the bucket in this one. So that's going to leave people bad. But we saw the trailer. The trailer looks really good. It's definitely going to be one that's watchable. And then we got Quantum Mania coming up, which I have my own observations about. But you're going to have to explain to me how Kang the Conqueror became a black guy.
Oh man, don't get me started, Deets. They always. I don't know. Hollywood always want to be Hollyweird. I don't know, Deets.
You're going to have to explain to me how Reed Richards and Susan Storm made a kid, Nathaniel Richards, and somehow he turned out black. Wait, what? Someone's gonna have to explain. Someone's gonna have to explain that one to me.
We all got to get representation and everything, I guess. Man,
It's just crazy, but no, but yeah, comic book movie. But Batman and Robin, the only good thing about that is Alicia Silverstone is in it, and that was the only good thing about it.
She was pretty hot, Deets, in that movie.
By the way, great commercial over on Super Bowl when they did the Clueless.
Oh, that was cool.
That was fun. That was funny, and I was watching it at the bar, and I looked up, and I was like, "Wait, whoa!" I was like, "Yes, Clueless." I was in, so that was cool. The nostalgic, it hit on all levels, so it's gonna be fun.
But Deeks, what you got coming up this week, man?
What we got coming up? We got our Super Bowl review, and it'll be a lot of the stuff that we talked about earlier, but you know how we do it on Fit Down Sports Show. If you listen to our preview, you know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be, I have confirmed this already. I confirmed that my cousin Brianna will be on. Of course, she is our entertainment correspondent, so she will be able to tell us more about the Rihanna performance and where it ranks in her performances. And of course, we'll talk about all the commercials that we saw, because there's a lot. There was a lot of them. And again, good, not great. There's a lot of good. There's not much great out of this Super Bowl. Like, this is going to be one of those Super Bowls. Like, and we talked about this before. You and I have talked about this before. A lot of people said, "Oh, the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl, you know, that they thought that was boring, and they didn't like that Super Bowl." However, when I think of that Super Bowl, I think of Jason McCourty and making that play, and I will always remember that play. I will always remember seeing that play. Tell me a play in this Super Bowl that you're going to look at and go, "I'm going to remember that 10, 15 years down the road."
I didn't see one.
It's one night after, and I can't pick out a single play that I go back to and go, yep, I remember that play.
It's like watching. You remember when James Harrison took that fumble recovery, took it all the way to the house.
Oh, you mean the pick?
The pick, yeah, the pick. He took the pick all the way to the house.
Yeah.
You remember that? You remember that shit from what's that like? Been what? 15 years? Over 15 years? Like
that was Steelers, Arizona.
It's you remember shit like that happening. Out of this, I don't remember nothing. Like I remember what happened in the Rams when Odell tore his thing, is Achilles, what was his Achilles or ACL, but he was killing them. Like you remember certain things. You remember Aaron Donald scaring Jimmy G in the NFC Championship game. You know what I mean? You remember things like that, but it's no memorable moments in the Super Bowl at all.
There was nothing to this Super Bowl. There was nothing to it, and that's. And to tie a bow on this episode, because it's where we started and where we ended. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that was a foul, it wasn't a foul, it was this, it was that. They robbed us of a chance to get a moment where somebody makes a play to win the game. Somebody makes a play, Jalen Hurts makes a play that leads to the game going to overtime. It would have given us a lot more. When you call that penalty in that situation, it pretty much deflated everything just went out and was like, all right, well, this game's over. It's good.
Mm-hmm. But all right, Dees, man, let the people know where you're gonna be at Thursday.
All right, Thursday night we'll be going at 9:00. Because we have to go a little bit later so Cousin Brianna can get time to get out of work. And that way, if she has to stay late at work, at least she can come on at some point. So I'm going to go at 9:00 on Thursday. And again, we're going to tie a bow on the Super Bowl. We're going to hammer everything out, get the Super Bowl out of the way so that we can get right on to NFL draft stuff and a lot more announcements coming for what we're doing at Fifth Down. So a lot of stuff going on. So everybody get over there, subscribe, do all the things you got to do. Subscribe to this one, like this show, like channel, like everything, because the YouTube algorithm will help us. Mm-hmm. So everything you can do to help us get out there. And Rod, we'll see you later, man.
And this episode was sponsored by Save a Ho. Scottie Pippen saving Michael, and we're out.